And then, of course, the thing that draws me into the photo is her lips
Yeah,
for
her
some
lips
reason.
are, because they look really nice. All right, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Breanna. This is Ozem.
Ozem.
Today we are here with my friend Jenna.
Hey.
And we're going to be critiquing / spotlighting Jenna's work today. So Jenna, before we start, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? So like, how long have you been a photographer, and just like a little bit about your work?
Yeah. So I bought a camera starting whenever I was 13. I'm 19 now, so it's been about 6 years. Everything is self-taught. I kind of just wing everything and go for it. I definitely take more of like a little bit of a darker style. I like my things to be like visually darker. The concepts behind them are a little bit darker. That's about it.
It's interesting because when we started this, we were going to hit you up and say, hey, let's critique your work. And then you sent over those images and we were like, okay, you know what? Let's take a different spin to this. So instead of a photo critique, which we might do depending how it goes, you never know, we decided to take the approach of doing a photo spotlight, because I think as much as you say that you wing it, your work seems very intentional.
Yeah.
And there's not very much I can say about work that's that intentional. I think I'd be doing you an injustice, and I would be doing everyone else listening and watching this an injustice by trying to interpret your work in my way and put my own spin on it. So, you know, if it ends up being somewhat of a critique based on what you say, that's how it is. But more so a spotlight, because I think your work's very beautiful.
Damn, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
So I guess we can go into it.
I guess so. Okay, well, should we pull up our Instagram?
Isn't it? Pull up Instagram account. Let's check something out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So let's see.
Sure. Oh, it's easier.
Let's check out. I'll use this.
Okay. So this is Jenna's
This is her Instagram account.
Well, she's in Portland right now. So
Salt Lake, Denver, Colorado. Wow.
she travels. Well, was it because we met in Pittsburgh? You're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all very intentional work here. So I'm done giving previews. Let's go to her photographs.
I'm so lost. Oh, geez. Okay.
And let's pull up image number 1.
Okay, awesome.
Image number 1. Okay. So what is my question going to be?
What is your intent behind this photo?
What were you thinking? What was on your mind?
I feel like my pictures kind of go, I feel like this is how like all art is though. I feel like it kind of goes like one of two ways. Like there's some work that you do that's like very intentional and I'm doing it for more than just an aesthetic, you know? But then there's some work that I just do solely for an aesthetic, which I feel like a lot of artists honestly don't really talk about. Like sometimes we just do things for the look. We like the look. I definitely wanted, this one was definitely one, I like the look of this. I actually went, this is in a cemetery and I went to the cemetery and I wanted to do like this hazier look because I was doing so much like shadow work that I kind of wanted just to step into like this hazy. It's kind of like, I don't know, it just like, kind of like stopped in time, but not like that typical like filmy look.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
No.
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you what I mean. So I mean, you've definitely captured, and of course, I look at fashion a lot more than he does. But you've
Hmm.
definitely captured more of like the timey, like the timely look that you want through her outfit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because her shirt is very. So I definitely get that. So you just chose the cemetery because what you liked it, or
Yeah, so this was in Arizona, and I was definitely having like a hard time coming from like Pittsburgh with all like the greenery and stuff, and then going to Arizona with like the desert landscape. I just really couldn't do it. So it was
Hmm.
funny. I had to like escape to like cemeteries where there's like finally grass.
actual trees? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
All that natural fertilizer.
Yeah, you know.
But you got rid of all the green.
Yeah, you know.
It's nice though because it kind of looks angelic to me.
Yeah.
And being in a cemetery, dressed like that, all white, it almost looks like you're kind of like highlighting some good spirits roaming
Yeah,
around the
it's weird.
cemetery.
It's like this is kind of one of my pictures that's like it's lighter, but like kind of with like that little hint of darkness with it being like the cemetery, and it's kind of like what necessarily is she? It's just like I
Hmm.
don't know. I kind of like it's almost a little bit like mysterious. I kind of want to say that it's like light but dark. You
And her
know?
lipstick pops.
Her
Yeah, that
lipstick pops. Wow,
That's something
great.
I would say.
That's oh wow.
Yeah, I mean it does. Okay.
I like the image. Have you printed a lot of your work?
For my
Not
wall.
literally all of it's on your wall. I have a few prints of my own, but that's about it, honestly.
All right, so we definitely gonna have to talk after. Let's go to the next image.
Okay, next image.
Oh,
Oh, what happened there?
let's click. I don't know. Why are the buttons back to front? Here we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
Let's get this out of the way.
minimize it. Oh wait, no, it might get rid of her.
Yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
it does, but whatever. Okay. Okay, so again.
Talk about it.
Okay, this picture, this was actually, I was doing a completely different shoot with her, like something totally different. And then I just wasn't really like in my flow state. And I feel like, again, that's something a lot of artists can relate to. It's like sometimes things are almost a little too planned. There's like a very fine line.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Yeah.
like the first sunny day ever in Pittsburgh. And I went outside and there was like one clear spot with like no clouds.
Oh
So we went.
wow.
And it was another thing where like I was like, oh, we'll do this whole other idea with just like this piece of fabric. And I wasn't like intending for this at all either, but it was one of those shots that like ended up like just somehow happening. So I feel like I personally at least take like those pictures with like they always kind of hold like a place in your heart almost whenever they're like ones that like you didn't plan for but they happen. It was just like
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's just most of them.
Yeah, I really like this photo. I don't think I've seen this yet, and I stalked the shit out of your Instagram. I like this a lot, and I will say, this might be. I mean, a lot of your photos are usually like super grainy.
Yeah, right.
This
This
one
was like a
isn't.
smoother one.
This can I zoom in?
Just click on it. No, like click and hold.
I'm doing that.
No, you're not doing that. You have to actually click.
It's not working for you either. Whatever.
It's not opening. Oh, that's
Oh,
why,
there we
because
go.
that was the
Okay.
size of it. So we're actually stretching it now.
Okay.
So I like the fact that you don't really retouch skin, especially in this photo at least.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Like, do we normally do a lot of skin retouching, or like what do you like to see in the skin?
I feel like it kind of depends. I don't like to go too crazy all. That's probably like my number one pet peeve is whenever you can tell something was touched a lot. I gotta say though, that specific model has like near perfect skin.
I mean,
so
her lips are perfect.
Yeah, her lips
Yeah,
jumped out.
Her
at
lips
me.
are the first thing. Is that the
Yeah.
first thing? Her lips are the first thing I noticed about this photo.
Yeah, like I genuinely like did not have to touch her like at all. But I feel like a lot of people, I don't really touch things unless if they're like majorly like doing something to the picture and like some sort of distracting. Otherwise, I like for it to look more untouched.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too.
Yeah.
But I really like this image. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No, I like nothing. I mean, there's something
over there in the corner,
like a little bit in the corner, just a tiny bit of you can see where the fabric ended.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, I would love to see what your final crop would be like if this was on exhibit somewhere. Even though I'm not like a big believer in cropping photos, like I actually really like the work. I like the shadows. I love the textures. Love what you did with the colors. Love the fact that you did not mess with her skin that much. And, you know, I love the attitude. And then, of course, the thing that draws me into the photo is her lips.
Yeah,
for some
her lips
reason.
are, because they look really nice.
But that's for personal reasons.
We're both like, these lips, man. My hair just came off my nose. So insane.
I'll be composed.
Okay.
Okay, on to the next. Okay.
Okay. Oh wait, should we zoom out a little bit? I feel like we need to. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what I have.
Okay, good. We have time.
All right. So this photo again. What what's your intent?
Okay, this was kind of another one that I was kind of starting to gear more into, like wanting to do like just fashion strictly things versus like my really dark stuff. So I kind of started wanting to get into like fashion photography, but I still wanted to have like a little bit of a darker twist still. So this one I also specifically wanted to go for like the monochromatic look as well. I wanted to all like blend together. So I was definitely super happy with the way that I got like that like gradient across it.
Yeah. I really like it, obviously.
Yeah, so I definitely do love what you did with the colors. Love the gradient, love just the choice of colors to begin with. Unless this was all manipulated.
No, this was the choice. All like this was probably like one of my like more strictly planned shoots I had because I really wanted to match his skin tone with that like dark gray specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion, very well done. The thing I noticed the most about this image is the perspective, first of all. So you made him look larger than life. He looks powerful, and there was some kind of a communication going on. I love the look on his face.
Yeah.
Looking back at you. What was going on in that?
It was actually really cool. Like our shoot specifically, it was such a good shoot. Like I feel like that's also super important to sometimes you need to just take the time to understand your model and talk to them. Like it needs to be so much more just like a business thing. But him and I had kind of like an instantaneous connection. Like we literally, it was probably the shortest shoot I've done in a long time, which I feel like is usually actually a really good sign when you just get there, you click. And it was like, for like
this was the first time you met him?
Yeah, first shoot, first time meeting him, first everything. It was so good, but I feel like you just need to hold a certain level of confidence in yourself as the photographer, I feel like, in model.
100%.
You need to know what you want to do. You need to know how you communicate. And once you have that level of poise, people will be able to work with you so much more confidently because they'll feel comfortable following your lead, you know?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You speak like someone that's been in the business for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And your work has a certain level of maturity to it as well. So there's something going on in your brain that I would love to extract at some point in time.
You
Thank
come
you.
down here.
Yeah,
I
you have to come
know.
down here.
For sure.
I will.
For sure.
Make Corona end. I will knock Corona out just so I can get down there.
Hey, there you go. Hey, let's go on to another photo.
Next. Oh.
Oop.
What do I do?
There you
there
go.
we go. Okay.
I wish this came first. Tell me a little bit about this. Give me a background.
So this one, I was in a really heavy, I still am. I was in a really heavy phase of doing shoots in water specifically. It was really cool to do because I probably shot with maybe like 15 models total that I put in this water. And it was really cool to see like the level of vulnerability that kind of comes out. That's probably like the best thing about like shooting in water. And it was almost like, I had several people tell me it almost felt like a therapeutic experience because it's uncomfortable. It's being forced to put in something uncomfortable. You're like trying to float in water and look pretty.
Yeah.
It got me and you. And I swear no matter what, it just brings out some sort of emotion being around water. And it's super, and just the fact that like it's like deep in nature, like it just brings something out in both of us while we're working. And this shot specifically, there was this log and it was never there for any of my other shoots. And she like lashed onto it just to like help her like up a little bit. But in that moment, it was like, I don't know. It was beautiful to see like the vulnerability, but then like her trying to cover herself, but then also just like the struggle. And I wanted to make it like that once I saw that.
So I have a few questions for you. First of all, is she a professional model?
No, I actually went to high school with her.
So a high school friend.
Yeah.
Second of all, the emotion that she's putting out.
Yeah, her emotion.
Is that something that she's done before, or are you projecting that on her?
It's kind of like both of our vibes kind of going into one, it feels like, because when I am like in my zone, a lot of emotions are like also coming out of me that I feel like I'm just naturally projecting that you can kind of tell is happening. And then that's like allowing them like that, like, oh, okay, she's feeling this. So now I can start to show how I'm really feeling. Like I'm not weird kind of way. And then it's like really therapeutic to kind of talk about it afterwards. Because when you're both just in that zone, and like I said, when you're comfortable enough in your zone, they can feel that and then they'll get in theirs too. You know?
Yeah.
I preach this.
And I even kind of, so like when you and I shot together.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like, well, we've shot a couple times together. Well, I shot you. You obviously didn't shoot me, but yeah, but it's like the same thing even when I was shooting you, your energy kind of just like you have strong energy.
Yeah, you definitely feel like that shift, like you just get in that zone and then like I said, it allows them to then be comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
I feel that's 100%. Not only comfortable, but you're both on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I definitely see that with certain people that I shoot with, like if I connect with them very well, then the shoot is usually
the connection
you can see
is
the
like,
emotion.
Yeah, the connection is like essential. Like there's no,
it's everything.
Yeah. Even if I can't connect, I don't believe that it's impossible to connect with someone. It's just more difficult and you just need to, I cannot get into that flow state until we find something to connect about.
100%, 100%. A lot of the people I work with are like, it was their first time in front. In front of the camera. And what I usually do is I would talk to someone, like especially like most of the people I work with, I'm meeting them for the first time.
Right.
So it's important to me to sit down and talk with that person and figure that person out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could take 15 minutes. Sometimes it could take an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to pick up that camera until we're on the same wavelength.
Exactly.
And especially because for me, every shot that I take costs.
Right.
So every time I press that button, it costs me.
Well, you shoot a lot of film.
Exactly. So
with us, we shoot just digital, so it's like we can waste 500 shots.
Right.
No problem.
But why waste 500 shots?
I know why waste 500 shots, but
right.
I feel like the connection can happen without the shoot even happening, and once the connection happens, then you're just vibing together. You both can get into that flow state.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I mean, like, my favorite shoots are those shoots. I mean, like when you and I shot, how long did we spend talking versus shooting?
Right, exactly.
We would literally be talking. We would be in the middle of a shot and we would talk for probably like 20 minutes and be like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? We're supposed to be shooting.
Right.
And that's like.
Yeah. I feel like when I first started shooting too, it was like, I was super frustrated because like all my favorite shots were always at the end. And then like once I was like, why is this happening? And then once I was like, this is once we were comfortable. And then I like made a vow to myself. I was like, I'm not going to have this because there were so many like potentially good shots in the beginning. And I'm done with that. I'm going to form the connection and then start shooting. I
totally 110% agree. Like, and when I first started shooting, I was like, okay, we're just going to do like a couple of test shots, blah, blah, see how we feel. And then, like, I start connecting with that person. But, like, now it's like, okay, just take the time. Take, like, the first half hour, whatever it needs to be.
Right.
Just connecting with that person and then get into shooting. Because, like, once you start getting comfortable with them and you start connecting with them, because, like, I mean, like, I feel like we all kind of connect with people very easily. And that's, like, the main aspect that you need.
Yeah, exactly. That's
as a photographer, an artist, whatever it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
People are you can't go into it there needs to be a fine balance between the business, but you also have to remember why you even started doing this in the first place. And you have to do things out of that humility level and go into this wanting to connect with people, because people get so lost in that stuff and then you're not connecting anymore. Then you're wondering why it's not going that well.
Exactly.
How old are you again?
She's 19.
Just to remind everyone.
She's 19, speaks like not 19. But yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy. But no, I totally agree. And it's hard when you get I mean, like, I've shot with people that were very hard to connect with just because they're not there for the art. They're there just to get a picture.
Right. Exactly.
If that makes any sense. Does that make sense to you?
I haven't met someone like that in probably 4 years.
At the same time, I kind of view them as like a really good challenge to myself. I like to kind of do it as like I said, it's not impossible to connect with someone. I'm going to find something, and then they're going to feel that switch on how much more comfortable it is now, and then it's going to be forever changed.
Yeah.
Do you notice what you just said? They're going to feel that switch.
Yeah. You can't deny when it feels more comfortable. They can't. That's not something. Yeah.
We had this conversation earlier today. And I'm not going to go on and on about it. But we did have this conversation earlier today. It's definitely a vibe thing. A lot of photographers ask, how do you get people comfortable? How do you do this? How do you do that? And my thing is, it's all about projection. It's all about what you're projecting. If you ask someone to do something and you hesitate about it, they're going to feel that. If you don't, if you're giving off the wrong vibe, they're going to feel that. And it's almost impossible to get someone comfortable when you're giving off the wrong vibe.
And I mean, I wouldn't say that it's hard for me to get somebody comfortable with me, because people get comfortable with me really quickly.
Yeah, but personality.
But it's like when I get, but like you were saying earlier, because of like the shoot that I did earlier today, I needed to get them into like the vibe that I wanted to get them to.
So we're not talking comfort here now. When it gets to that point, we're talking about straight energy. We're talking about a feeling. Yeah. So you have a naked romantic couple in front of you and you're trying to bring out a certain feeling. What we were talking about is basically being able to, as the photographer, being able to get there within yourself. And then that energy projects.
And I mean, it was my first shoot like that, though. So it was like,
I feel like there's also a lot of like behind the scenes work that the photographer like specifically has to do, like getting into the shoot. Like I can't just like rush. Like I'm not going to schedule something like back to back to back. I'm not going to like get off work and then go shoot. Like I need to clear my mind, figure out are coming into this, because
Right.
again, they'll be able to pick up on that. Like, I need to go into this like serious and like,
Right.
you know.
And that's what a lot of people don't. And that's what like that's why I don't really shoot with a lot of people that ask me to shoot with them, because I've been rushed into photo shoots before where they're like if I'm not in, if I don't have enough time, or if I'm not in the mood, they're like, it's okay. Like, it's just a quick 20-minute shoot. I'm like, no, like,
No.
if you're giving me only 20 minutes to shoot with you, these pictures are going to be terrible.
Clients will tell you that too. And the thing is, sometimes you have to educate clients, or you have to set your own boundaries, pretty much. Like, you say, hey, you know, this shoot's going to be anywhere between 45 minutes to 3 hours. And, you know, that's what you stick to. You trying to produce the best images, not, hey, you know, it's only going to take 10 minutes. All I need is one photograph. Nope, that one photograph might be out of 30 photographs.
Exactly.
And there's still a mindset that you have to have going into it. Like, I remember when I started doing boudoir photography, my brother's funny. My brother was like, wait. Oh.
I don't think I reset it.
That's fine.
I might have. Should we check?
I'll check in a second. So my brother would recommend me to listen to like a Nora Jones album, like for 2 days straight before the photo shoot. And it's funny because I feel like it actually
I get
me.
that, because like before, like, so my photo shoot today, I woke up early and I put on music, like music that's going to get me into the vibe of the photo shoot for today. And so like I kind of felt that vibe, and then I put that kind of music on for them, but there was just a lot else going on like in my apartment, so it was kind of hard to like for me to get into that like that.
Are you afraid of being judged? See,
I feel like when it comes to talking about like whenever they want to rush you or anything, I feel like it kind of goes back to that business versus art concept where there shouldn't have to be any restrictions. That's the whole point of doing art, is that there's no restrictions for once.
Right.
So you can't time something, you can't put a stamp on something, like you can't be making this such a thing. It needs to just flow, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you just dropped, in the time that we spent together, you just dropped so much heat and so much value. It's ridiculous. And I appreciate you for doing this with us. I had no idea that it would have turned out like this.
Oh, I knew it would.
But you just completely dropped some serious value. I truly appreciate that.
Aww.
And it's crazy to hear this. Like, how long have you been shooting?
I bought a camera when I was 13.
13, okay. So, I mean, so you bought a camera when you were 13. So, like, how long have you been producing work that you actually love?
Work that I actually love, probably in the last, like, year and a half.
So let's say you've been effectively shooting for the last year and a half, and you've been producing the type of value just in the, like, what you've been saying. You've been producing the type of value of someone that's been shooting for probably the past 20 years. And I kid you not, I'm serious.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really appreciate you coming on and doing that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be inspired by that.
Yeah. I mean, ever since I met you, like, you're definitely somebody that I've always, and I mean, I'm older than you. I haven't been shooting as long as you are, but you've definitely inspired me. I love your work. I hype you up.
Guys, thank you.
See, that's what makes this a spotlight, not a critique.
Exactly. So when are you coming to Florida?
Yeah.
I'll be there in a few hours. So.
Okay, I'm down. I'll buy your flight. All right. So thank you so much for obviously sharing your knowledge with us and coming to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, for real. And I'm sure the world's going to be thanking you for sharing your knowledge with them as well.
Yeah. You have a lot of insight. All right.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming out today and listening, or coming out to our show. Thank you for watching today. I hope you guys learned something. from this. And no matter how old you are, no matter how experienced you are, you can make art as long as you set your mind to it, put your energy into it.
Yeah, just the right mindset, right energy.
All right.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And
comment. Send us your work if you want to be featured on our page. Right?
Absolutely. And until next time, peace.